welcome to Sweet Art Make, Bake and Decorate tutorials. In this tutorial I'm going back to the basics and I'm going to show you how to level and fill a cake, and then we're going to put ganache on it and cover it with some beautiful ganache roses. Okay, let's get started. So I have here a basic chocolate cake. I will put this on one of my tutorials as well, how to bake the cake, but this tutorial is on how to split this cake in half, fill it with a filling, and then cover it with a ganache and put some piped ganache roses on. So what you need is a cake leveling tool. If you don't have one of these, it's okay. You can use a large serrated knife that will do the job just as well. And just to spread our filling and icing, I've got this offset spatula, but again, if you don't have this, you can just use a knife. Okay, so how we go about leveling the cake, we put it on our board and we basically just get our cake leveler and measure it up to halfway and wherever you want to cut the cake, and then you basically just slide this like this, backwards and forwards, and it goes through like this quite easily. So these things make life a lot easier. You can easily cut the cake in half. Don't worry about the few crumbs that drop off, we'll take care of that later. What we want to do here is just lift this top layer off and then we can put the filling in the cake. So if you don't have one of these, this is a cake lifter, you can just slide in a chopping board or something, or a spatula or something like that. So we're just going to slide this in like this. This makes it very easy to get there. Don't worry if you've got the middle a bit funny like that, it's fine. We'll just slide that off and pop it over here for a minute. Right, now what I like to do with my cakes is just brush them with a little bit of a sugar syrup. This just helps to keep them nice and moist. And the sugar syrup is basically just like half a cup of water boiled with about 3 tablespoons of sugar. And you just boil that for 5 minutes and then you get a nice sugar syrup. So brushing this on your cakes will help keep them nice and moist. Okay. So next we get our filling, and I've got here, this is like a whipped cream filling. I've just whipped up some cream, so I'm just going to put that on my cake. And what I've also added to this whipped cream filling is a little bit of chocolate ganache, which I have over here. So in another tutorial I will show you how to make this chocolate ganache. But let's just get this filling in the cake. So a good quantity there, and then we just get our spatula and spread it all over. Okay, now we just want to carefully slide the top layer back on top. And then we can give that a little bit of a brush with the sugar syrup as well. Just over the top. And at this stage we're ready to ganache it. Okay, to make it a little bit easier, you can put the cake in the fridge for about 20 to 30 minutes just to cool it down, so that when the ganache goes on, it will set nice and firmly, and it'll also give the filling inside a chance to set. I just want to show you the 2 ganaches I've got here. This is going to be used for covering the cake, and it's basically just a mixture of cream and chocolate. And you can use a good quality chocolate. The better quality chocolate you use, the better flavour your ganache will be. And the quantity is basically 2 to 1. So if you use 1 cup of cream, you add 2 cups of chocolate. So double the amount of chocolate to cream. And this is also ganache. It's exactly the same recipe as this, but what I've done is I've whipped it with a whisk. So if you whip it with a whisk, you get a consistency like this. It's whipped ganache, and we're going to use that to do our roses on the top. It's a softer, fluffier ganache, so it's much nicer for piping the roses. So I'll show you how to do that in just a wee while. And we're just going to pop this in the fridge for about 10 minutes, let it chill a bit, and then I'll show you how to put the ganache on top. Okay, so we've cooled this cake a little bit and we're going to just ice it with this ganache now, so give it a good mix. Now this ganache, once you've heated the cream, added the chocolate and let it cool down, it will come to this consistency. You want it to be this sort of consistency for putting on your cake. So pile it on top of the cake and then basically just spread it all around. So just go and spread the ganache all around the cake. So let it drop down the sides and just ease it round. Don't worry too much about the bottom edge and the top, because we're going to be piping the roses all around. Okay, so that's our cake done. So we'll just pop that in the fridge for about another 15 to 20 minutes to let it nicely set, and then we'll pipe the roses on top. So I'm just going to tidy up the edge a little bit, and I'm going to pipe the ganache. I've just placed the ganache that we had earlier from this bowl into this piping bag, and this is just an open star nozzle. You can use whatever nozzle you want depending on what sort of design you want on the side. You could use just a normal round nozzle, and then you'd get like little pearls around the outside. So I'm just going to quickly go and pipe around the edges just to tidy it up a little bit and give it a nice finish on the edge. You can make these as small or as big as you like. You just add pressure and then let go of the pressure and pull it as you go. So that's basically the edge on there. Okay, I'm just going to get a disposable piping bag and snip off the end, and then put in this. This is a Wilton 1M nozzle. This is what we're going to use to ice our cake with the flowers. So you just press the nozzle in there, and it's about up to there. And I like to put it into a cup like this, and then just put my whipped ganache into there. You can do it in 2 lots. Don't worry about getting everything in your piping bag. You don't want to overfill your piping bag. It'll be difficult for you to pipe the flowers. Right. So just using your thumb and your hands, just twist it at the top so that the icing doesn't come out the top. Give it a good twist and gently press it down with your fingers, and that's how you want to hold this piping bag. So let's start piping the roses. So with this, you want to go up a little bit and then go round like this. You finish with a little twist. So up and round. So that's our roses piped. So you can see, just with chocolate ganache, you can actually use it in 2 slightly different ways. You can use it to cover your cake with the standard ganache icing, just having it set for a little while. And then if you whip it up with a whisk or a beater, you can get this nice, soft, almost buttercream-like consistency, and that's beautiful for piping, and piped roses come out especially well with that with that beaten up ganache. So it's a very versatile icing, and it's very tasty, and it's not too overly sweet, especially if you use the darker chocolate rather than the milk chocolate. So I hope you do try and decorate your cakes like this. It's very easy, it's not that difficult. You just need the right sort of nozzle and just a bit of practice, and I'm sure you'll be fine. Okay, I've just put the rest of the ganache into a piping bag and fitted it with a small hole nozzle. It's probably around about a number 2 Wilton nozzle. So I'm just going to type on a happy birthday message. Okay, so just twist this around like this. So I hope you can see how easy it is to decorate a cake and make it look quite stunning actually, with the different types of ganache, and then just adding a simple birthday message. It's not complicated at all, and I hope you will try it. Thank you very much for watching, and please do join me for my next tutorial.